Welcome everybody. Welcome to our Soul Awakening Sanctuary and welcome to our Sunday Sacred Circle. And I hope you are having a wonderful day, a wonderful start to your day, a wonderful morning, or whichever time zone you're in. Welcome today, and we're going to be digging into a wonderful and critical topic, talking about willful ignorance. Breaking free from willful ignorance, a path to enlightenment and liberation. That is our topic on this rising, this morning, today. And so we welcome each and every one of you. And we hope that you've been doing well. We know that spirits have been high and emotion have been on a roller coaster with this recent election and all of the things that's been going on. But we invite you today to come into this atmosphere to release all of the negative energy, to release all of the worries, the anxiety, and let's embrace that one great universal spirit of all. Embrace love today, embracing peace, embracing joy, embracing compassion, knowing that light always breaks through every situation. And so that's what we are coming from today, and we are coming from light and love, and we are sending love and light to each and every one of you on today. I need to clean this glasses. And so again, welcome to the Soul Awakening Sanctuary, to our Sunday Sacred Circle. And here we aim to foster healing, wellness, wholeness, and enlightenment. And we do that through teaching universal laws of principles of truth, not tied to any specific religion, doctrine, or dogma. We are here not to debate, but to uplift, to educate, to enlighten, and to help those who are decolonizing and deconstructing from harmful theology and religion in general, and that are looking to reconstruct their faith with spiritual practices that resonate with their soul. And so that's what we are about on this platform. We are here to help those who are looking to reconstruct their faith. They have left the church, left the doctrine, the dogma, because so many people, we are tired of hearing the same rhetoric over and over again, because many of us have been, if we're honest, we have been miseducated, misinformed, lied to. And so we're in a time now where people are searching for truth. They're searching for higher knowledge and wisdom. And so we're in a great information age. And so we are here helping those who are breaking out of the matrix, breaking out of the mundane, and really stepping into expanding their consciousness, expanding their awareness and their understanding. And that's what we are about. And so everyone is welcome here. This is a safe and sacred space. All are welcome here. We don't tolerate any bullying. We don't tolerate harassing, but we are here and we welcome you in this safe and sacred space for learning. And that's what we come to do. We are learning in this sacred space. We are here educating ourselves. And so we welcome you today. And those that would like to give love gifts towards our platform and support us, the Cash App is pinned. It's $ capital VSY, lowercase ISRAEL 2021. We appreciate all of your love gifts, your hearts. Share. Tap the screen and share, everybody. Help us put this video out. Help us push it out by liking, commenting, and sharing. We appreciate all of your efforts to help us boost this platform, and so that many people can come across these teachings that can help them liberate them, bring liberation to people that have been in bondage for so long. And so again, we welcome everyone. Today we're diving again into a critical profound topic talking about willful ignorance. It isn't just about being uninformed, but it's about the conscious and the subconscious mind and the choice to avoid truths that challenge our comfort zones. And so that's what willful ignorance is about. It's not only about being uninformed, but it's about the conscious or subconscious choice. Many people are making the choice to avoid and ignore truth, to avoid truths that are challenging our comfort zone. But we're living in a time where we have to confront many things in our life and in our society, in our spirituality, and just within ourselves inwardly. So we have to be willing to confront these truths, not to evade, not to avoid, even if it challenges us, even if it pushes us out of our comfort zone, because that's what growth is about. Growth helps you push you out of your comfort zone. So in many ways, willful ignorance is the reason many remain stagnated. Why? Many people remain stagnated because of willful ignorance, mental slavery. They're confined to inherent beliefs that keep them from experiencing true freedom. That's what keeps people stagnated. Inherent beliefs that keep you from experiencing true freedom, enlightenment, and self-mastery. But if we're going to expand our consciousness, expand our awareness, to elevate, to awaken the Christ within, to reach Godhood, we have to be willing. We have to be willing to face those beliefs that we have been taught, that we've heard and we've rehearsed and believed to be true. Because that's the only way to no longer be stagnant, to experience true freedom, enlightenment, and self-mastery. And if you missed our live stream about self-mastery, you can go back and look either on Facebook or just on YouTube and see what self-mastery, because that's one of the greatest things that will help you on your spiritual evolution and journey, is learning how to master yourself, how to master your emotions, how to master you. Because a lot of people are focused outwardly, externally, trying to control their surroundings, trying to control people, trying to control situations. But the job in spirituality and inner work and shadow work is working on you and being able to master yourself so that you can have spiritual mastery and you can ascend in higher consciousness. So we're going to look at how the concept of willful ignorance isn't new. It's been around a long time, this concept of willful ignorance. It's been discussed in ancient Kemetic wisdom, and in New Thought philosophy sheds light on it as well. And together these teachings show us that liberation is within our reach. I'm going to say that again. Liberation is within our reach, but we got to be willing to let go of the illusions that bind us, to let go of the illusion that binds us so that we can enter in, really begin to break ground into our spiritual evolution and our elevation. And so you may ask, what is willful ignorance? Let's talk about it. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Click like, share, comment, tap the screen. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our Sunday Sacred Circle Soul Awakening Sanctuary. Welcome each and every one. So what is willful ignorance? Willful ignorance is when someone is presented with the truth but chooses to ignore it. That is what willful ignorance is. When truth comes to us, when we are presented with truth that may challenge all of our preconceived notions, that may challenge all of the things that we've heard, it may challenge us. But willful ignorance is even when it challenges us, we then choose to ignore it. Why? Because it makes us uncomfortable. Truth a lot of times makes us uncomfortable. And now we're not talking about the truth from religion. We're not talking about the truth of what colonizers taught us. We're talking about really looking at ourselves. And truth may make us uncomfortable, but that's the only way we can grow. So willful ignorance is the unwillingness to go beyond and explore beyond what feels safe or familiar. Many would rather stay asleep than awaken to the depths and the potential of their own consciousness. Many people would rather you not try to shed light on their path. They'd rather stay asleep. And you know, when I was thinking about today, when I was studying and thinking about meditating about what we would talk about today, what spirit would lead me to talk about, and the thought came to my mind, sheep that's asleep. Sheep's led to a slaughter. Why? Because we have not been taught to question everything. We have been taught to take things wholesale and believe it without questioning at all, without doing further investigation, which has caused us to be gullible. It has caused us to be taken advantage of because we haven't been willing to put in the work. See, in order to really elevate our consciousness, in order to really begin to grow, you have to be willing to move beyond your comfort zone, to ask those tough questions of yourself and of others. Can't be willfully ignorant. Greetings, everybody. Tap the screen. Tap the screen for us. Let's share this live, everyone. So we're talking about breaking free from willful ignorance. Not just being sheep's led to the slaughter. Not just taking people's word for it and believing everything they say and not being willing. Because it is our job, each and every one of us, it is our job. Our spiritual enrichment and enlightenment and our own personal growth is our responsibility. So if we don't take it serious, then who will? If you don't do it, who will? So the question becomes, why do we do this? Why do so many of us cling to these old beliefs? Often it's because of ignorance, and the ignorance feels safer. That's why so many people do not want to expand their consciousness. That's why so many people are afraid to go beyond what they may have heard or been taught. Because ignorance feels safer. But when you begin to awaken and have a spiritual awakening, when you begin to the blindness begin to come off your eyes and you begin to see things differently, it requires courage. Spiritual awakening requires courage from the individual. It requires letting go of what we thought we knew and stepping into the unknown. That's why sometimes we can't learn the lessons that we should learn because we think we know everything already. And we are not willing to leave space open in our life for growth. We're not open and available. So my purpose in teaching this lesson today is to inspire you, to inspire all of us, to see where we might be limiting ourselves by choosing comfort over truth. Choosing comfort over truth. So this teaching is also to shed light on the fact that there are forces, religious leaders, politicians, and influencers who actively exploit this tendency towards willful ignorance for their own gain. This is what is being happening right now. Religious leaders, politicians, influencers are actively exploiting our people. Why? Because of willful ignorance, and they're using it to their own advantage. So by remaining unaware, by staying colonized in our mind and in our thinking, we're giving away our power. So today we'll explore how to reclaim your power, how to no longer be willfully ignorant, how to become the main character in your own life, begin to take action. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to take a look at the comedic wisdom. And if you've been following me, if this is your first time, if you looked at our page and the videos, we've been talking about ancient African wisdom. And on this platform, we talk about how the Bible is a book of psychology. It's a book of astrology, cosmology. It's a book about you, not about people way thousands of years ago. It's an esoteric book, metaphysical, teaching you about your own spiritual evolution, your own awakening from unconscious to conscious, from asleep to being awake, realizing who you are and your power that lives within you that you inherently were born with. The people that whitewashed and tweaked and turned and rewrote and given back to us, repackaged. But our ancestors knew the truth. So first thing, let's talk about comedic wisdom. The spiritual principles of the ancient African Egypt, so-called. These teachings hold powerful insights for anyone seeking liberation. A central principle in Kemetic thought is ma'at, and we've talked about that over the past week or so, about the principle of ma'at, which represents truth, justice, and cosmic order. Living in alignment with ma'at requires us to be honest with ourselves, to reject illusions, and to seek harmony within. And that is how we get out of the stagnated place of willful ignorance. By living in alignment with ma'at, truth, justice, cosmic order. To be honest with ourselves. Not to lie to ourselves about how we're feeling, about how we view things. To be honest with yourself. To reject the illusions. The illusion of fear. The illusion of poverty. The illusion that you cannot be greater than you are. You cannot reach your potential. These are illusions. And by rejecting these illusions and living within the principle of ma'at, we seek harmony within ourselves. Another key principle in Kemetic wisdom is Saya, S-I-A, which relates to perception and insight. In Comedic Wisdom, perception wasn't just about how or what we see with our physical eyes. It's about our inner light, our inner sight, and understanding things deeply beyond the surface. And that's how you move out of willful ignorance. By going through uncharted territory. Being willing to move the mass and go deep down. Not just taking what you see for your eyes, what your eyes see physically, but honing into the inner sight. Begin to work on trying to understand things deeply beyond the surface. See, the ancient ones, our ancestors, they knew that ignorance could be used as a tool of oppression. I'm going to say that again. Ignorance is a tool of oppression. And when you're ignorant, you're not aware, when you're not educated in certain things, and people know it, they will begin to use that as a tool to oppress you. They will use that as a tool against you. And they will work you. And so our ancestors knew that. That's why they warned against the dangers of falsehoods and illusions. See, this wisdom teaches us that the mind is a battleground. Say that again. The mind is a battleground. And either we control it or somebody else will. Now, so that was good. I'm going to say that again. We all have to know that our mind is a battleground. And the sooner we recognize that and understand that, the better we're going to be. And either we control this battleground called our mind, or somebody else will begin to control us. So when we allow ourselves to be misled, we become vulnerable to control. You know, a lot of people, they don't like people who think for themselves. Religious leaders, politicians, influencers, they don't like when you think for yourself. When you begin to question, when you begin to see things not adding up. You say, oh, wait a minute, this not adding up. You begin to awaken. You begin to move the blinders off your eyes. You begin to see through the illusions, the falsehoods. And you begin to take control of your mind again. That's what deep programming is all about. Because, you know, we are being programmed and conditioned. From childhood, we've been programmed and conditioned to believe certain paradigms, certain beliefs that have gone into our mind, into our subconscious, that we did not question. When you watch TV, you're being programmed and conditioned. You think you see a commercial about something else, but the art of seduction, they know how to do things and cause you to buy into it. So a lot of times we don't pay attention. We are being controlled. And it's only till we begin to pause and stop and say, wait a minute, I'm not going to be controlled. I'm going to step into the cockpit of my airplane. And I'm going to begin to take control. I'm going to begin to not be controlled. And I'm going to take control of my mind, of my thoughts, of my actions, of my life. So remember, whenever we allow ourselves to be misled, we become vulnerable to control. Greetings, everybody. As you come in, please tap the screen, tap the screen. Share the live, everybody. Thank you so very much. Share the live. So in New Thought philosophy, there's a teaching that says the law of mind is the law of creation. The law of mind is the law of creation. This means that what we hold in our consciousness shapes our reality. I'm going to say that again. Whatever we hold in our consciousness shapes our reality. If we remain ignorant, or if we adopt the beliefs others impose on us, we create a reality based on those limitations. So a lot of people that may have grew up around people in poverty, or grew up around people who didn't have education or whatever, and if they buy into that, I'm just a product of my environment and I can't do no better because this is the way I was raised and ain't nobody else went to college in my family, and so I can't, that's not for me. If you buy into that limitation, that shapes your reality and you won't be able to. But if you begin to put the thought in your mind, just to change the thought, change that channel and say, no, I can do it. I am going to go to college. I am going to get education. I am going to be an entrepreneur. See, because that thought that you're holding in your conscience begin to shape. Your thoughts begin to vibrate through the universe, and you begin to attract what you have put out by your thoughts. So don't accept the limiting ideas and beliefs that people try to impose on you, because you don't want to create a reality based on their limitations. People say, oh child, you can't do that. You black, they ain't nobody gonna let you survive and make it, and don't buy into it. They couldn't do it because they have a limiting belief, but don't allow somebody else's negativity, their limiting belief, begin to control your movement. Learn to think for yourself. And don't allow people to think for you and choose for you. Because if you don't think and choose for yourself, people will think and choose for you. You become vulnerable to be preyed upon. That's P-R-E-Y-E-D, preyed upon. So in spirituality and New Thought teachings, it teaches us that true spiritual evolution happens through self-awareness. That's how you really experience spiritual evolution. It's through your own self-awareness. And as we examine our beliefs and strip away what doesn't serve us, we begin to awaken to our potential and personal power. But see, here's the issue that many of us face. Many of us are still mentally colonized. Let's talk about it. Many of us are still mentally colonized. We may not be in chattel enslavement anymore. We may not be in cuffs and chains and be out there, quote unquote, picking cotton. But however, in our mind, we're still colonized. We still think, talk, and do what our colonizers taught us to. And we have yet to break free from the chains of mental slavery. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the rose. Greetings, everybody. Tap the screen for us. Share this live. That's right, my sister Khadija Henry. We can do it. We can do it. We can shake this mental slavery. We can come out of this psychosis. See, many of us, this is the issue many of us face. We are still mentally colonized. We hold on to beliefs we didn't choose. We're still harboring and holding on to beliefs we didn't choose ourselves, but beliefs that were passed down by family, society, and institutions. And it's these beliefs that often limit us rather than set us free. And so if you want to really be free, free indeed, you have to let go of all of the stuff that the world and the outside people want to put in your mind. Now I want to take a moment and I want us to look at how religious and political leaders exploit willful ignorance, the willful ignorance of people. See, this isn't a new topic. It's not a new tactic. It's an old as civilization itself. When we look at history, we see how leaders of the past have often used fear and ignorance, fear-mongering and ignorance to keep people subdued. Colonizers understood that if they could control what people believe, they could control their actions. I'm going to say that again. This is how leaders of the past, especially politically and religious leaders, they knew by spreading fear, knew by captivating on the ignorance of the masses, that if they could control what people believed, they could control their actions. Thank you for the heart. Thank you for the rose. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so, this is the problem we have. Even today, we see preachers and politicians who use fear to keep their followers dependent on them and keep them under their thumb. Rather than encouraging spiritual autonomy, these people preach that salvation or success comes from them, not from within. A lot of people claim to believe in Yeshua, commonly called Jesus, but he taught about spiritual autonomy, that is within you, not outside. Not dependent on a building, not dependent on a religion, not dependent upon a denomination, not dependent upon a set of moral values from other people. But it's by being guided, divinely guided by your inner light. See, politicians too, they manipulate values to control the masses, encouraging dependency rather than empowerment. And that's why some people don't like teachings like this about Christ consciousness and waking up, because it messes up their show, it messes up their program. Because teachings like this help empower people, help them to be empowered in their own right. Greetings, Sister Tawanda. That's right, Sister Henry. Scare tactics. Greetings, my dear Helen. I be light. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the hearts. Greetings, everybody. Tap the screen. Share this live, because we're trying to wake people up this morning. We're trying to wake people up. Awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead. Because many of our people still sleep. They're not woke. Even those that claiming to be woke, still colonized, still believing in what the oppressor taught, and not willing to move from willful ignorance. But see, this dependency, willful ignorance causes dependency, and this dependency drains us. Greetings, Bishop Ellison, So happy to see you. This dependency drains us spiritually, emotionally, and often financially. And when we remain ignorant, we're giving away our freedom. Freedom ain't free. Don't be fooled. Freedom's not free. There's a price to be paid. And there's a price for waking up. There's a price from getting out of the matrix and waking up to your own Christ within you. To waking up to the knowledge of who you are. There is a price to pay. Friends, some people are not going to understand you. People are not going to like you. They're going to want you just to be blind like you used to. This is what people would want you to do. They want you to stay ignorant. And so when you begin to awaken yourself, when you begin to elevate your consciousness, when you begin to get out of the matrix, not just believing what you're told, but believing and knowing. Not blind faith and just believing, but knowing. Knowledge creates confidence. Because it's not what you heard or you just believe. It's what you know for yourself, what you've studied, what you've researched, what conclusion you came to. It's not about what somebody conclusion they came to. What conclusion have you come to? Talking about John revelation. What revelation have you had? What revelation have you had about your own self and your own life and your own progress? Woo! Grand rising in here. Hello, somebody. So the question is, why? So that's right. Don't give up your power. Don't give up your power to anyone. Call your power back. When you take the initiative to begin to play the main character in your own life, when you begin to be active in your own evolution and elevation, you begin to call your power back by your actions. You learn to begin to say no. Just simply say no. Reserving your energy, reserving your power. Not just going along to get along when somebody says something and you know it ain't true. You say, no, it ain't like that. Not just being quiet and just going along to get along. Because you don't want, afraid of confrontation. But confrontation, it's a part of life. So we have to learn to not be afraid of confrontation. Speak your truth and be proud about it. Stand in your truth no matter who don't like it. Don't allow somebody to put you back in bondage, in slavery, just because it benefited them. Because as I said, I think on one of the video I posted last night, that people have benefited on our ignorance, especially willful ignorance. But it's time now that we are waking up. We are opening our eyes and we are doing the work, putting in the work. So yes, the jig is up for some of these people. So the question is, why is it that people get irritated or even hostile when others choose to awaken? That's the question today. Why is it that people get irritated or even hostile when others choose to awaken? When others choose to not be asleep anymore, to not just believe the lies and the fables as was taught to us? Why are you mad? Because I'm not believing in this fictitious stuff that you want to believe in. Why are you upset? I'm not stopping you from believing it. I'm just not going to believe it anymore. Because I'm understanding They're having an understanding of what is real and what is fictitious. But a lot of people are hostile. That's right. Truth disturbs people and their intentions. So the question, why do those who strive for consciousness seem to face so much resistance? Why do those of us who strive for consciousness seem to face so much resistance? And the answer lies in fear. Fear of the unknown. So people challenge. But truth challenges. It challenges. That's right, Bishop. Waking them up. When we're being confronted with truth, it challenges you and causes you to think about what it is that we've accepted to be true, what it is that we've accepted as truth in our life. Limiting beliefs that hold us stagnant, that hold us down, that keeps us from progressing into who we ought to be. So many people cling to the familiar. They're scared of launching out into the deep. They stay in shallow waters all the time. Oh, child, you better not do that. You better be safe than sorry. Oh, you be careful. Don't go out there. Don't go learning about that. Don't go asking those type of questions. Those are people that want to keep you in shallow waters. They don't want you to launch out in the deep. They don't want you to educate yourself. They don't want you to begin to expand your horizon. Because they are afraid of the unknown. But you can't let other people's fear become your fears. Hello, somebody. Come on, talk to me here. You don't have to and should not allow people's fear to become your fear. Their anxiety to become your anxiety. That codependency thing, you got to let it go. So many people cling to the familiar even if it keeps them bound, because what is comfortable? It's what they know. It's what they're used to. But the journey towards enlightenment often disturbs the social order. When you're moving towards enlightenment, it disturbs the status quo. That's right, Helen. Fear is the problem. And we got to kick fear out the way. False evidence appearing real. Acronym. Kick it out. It's an illusion. It's nothing to fear. You have all the power within you. You were created inherently with the power to be a co-creator with the divine. So stop fearing. There's nothing to fear. As the quote goes, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. Because fear is crippling. Fear will keep you stagnated. Fear will keep you bound. So we've got to be willing to open ourselves up. Don't allow fear to keep you from experiencing your highest good, your highest potential. So, moving into enlightenment, waking up, challenges deeply rooted beliefs. And this can create discomfort. When we question our beliefs, we face cognitive dissonance. Let's talk about it. Again, when we challenge and question our beliefs that have been imposed on us, that we've been told that we have to believe, told that we have to understand and obey. When we begin to question those beliefs, we begin to face cognitive dissonance. Now that's something that people don't often want to talk about. Cognitive dissonance. But let's talk about it. What is cognitive dissonance? Cognitive dissonance occurs when a person's behavior and beliefs do not complement each other. It doesn't go together. When they hold to contradictory beliefs, that causes discomfort. Cognitive dissonance. People say they want to expand their consciousness. They want to go further than the limitations, but they won't study. They won't do the research. They won't listen to people who know about what they're trying to do, have already gone the lengths and the breadth of where you're trying to go. Cognitive dissonance. People say they want to be healthy, but they don't do the things that they need to do to bring about health. So this is the thing we have to work on. We have to face cognitive dissonance. It challenges. It challenges us. But don't be afraid of the challenge. It's painful sometimes to realize that some of the things we were taught to believe might not be true. That can be painful, and I do understand. But guess what? Allow that pain to push you into educating yourself so that you can leave a legacy to others. You can leave a legacy to those that are coming behind you so that they won't still be going through life blinded. But here's the beauty of it all. Resistance is a sign of growth. If you're facing resistance on your journey, it's likely because you're moving beyond the limitations of your old self. So don't get bogged down when people see you expanding your consciousness and begin to educate yourself and begin to elevate yourself. People say, oh, she acting brand new, honey. Oh, he acting different now. He acting funny now. But when you begin to walk into the light, when you become illuminated, when you begin to awaken, you begin to change. Your behavior changes, the way you talk, the way you walk. If you didn't have any confidence and you struggled with your self-image, when you begin to awaken to Christ consciousness, you begin to awaken to your God, your whole outlook on life begin to change. You begin to get confidence because knowledge creates confidence. Knowing that the universe backs you up when you make a decision. So the question becomes, greetings everybody, welcome to our Soul Awakening Sanctuary, our Sunday Sacred Circle. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you come in, tap the screen, tap the screen. Share this live, everybody. Do us a favor and share this live, please. So let's talk about steps to break free from willful ignorance. Let's answer that question. How do we break free from willful ignorance? So let's talk about some practical steps. The first step that would help you in breaking free from willful ignorance is self-reflection and inner inquiry. That's a question that you have to ask yourself. You have to begin and be willing to sit with yourself and ask the hard questions. In Comedic thought, this is known as the car. If you are new to this page, if you go on our page, you can look at the video where we talked about the car and the bar, the spiritual principle of the car and the bar. And the car, it represents a practice of self-examination. Ask yourself, what beliefs am I holding that might be limiting me? You have to ask yourself that question. What beliefs that has been imposed on me and that I have accepted and believed that is yet holding me and limiting my growth? Then you have to ask yourself, where did this belief come from? Or these set of beliefs come from? Because these beliefs create a paradigm. In order to shift the paradigm, in order to create a new paradigm in our subconscious mind, we have to begin to get to the root of the problem and find out what beliefs are holding me back and where did I get these beliefs from? And then begin to shed what no longer serves you. After you ask yourself those hard questions, what's limiting me? What's a belief that's limiting me? And where did the beliefs come from? Then you begin to chisel away. You begin to pull off. You begin to shed what no longer serves you to your highest good. This is how we begin to make the steps towards breaking free from willful ignorance. The second step to help you break from willful ignorance is aligning with Ma'at, which is the ancient African spiritual principle of truth and justice. To live in alignment with Ma'at, or truth and justice, means to be truthful with yourself. You know, you can lie to everybody else, but you've got to be truthful to yourself in order to progress, to keep evolving, to become enlightened. To become enlightened, to become an enlightened being, you have to be willing to be truthful and honest with yourself. Even when it's not convenient, you got to be willing to be truthful and honest with yourself. And I encourage you, reflect on where in life you're conforming out of fear or tradition. Think about it. Where are you conforming out of fear or tradition in your life? And then begin to make a conscious decision and commitment to live your life authentically. A lot of people are living other people's lives. They're not living for themselves. They're not living their true, authentic life. They're living to please mama, daddy, sister, brother, cousin, auntie, aunt, the neighbor, the church, the preacher, the imam, the rabbi, the wife, the husband, the girlfriend, boyfriend, children, living to please everybody else. But the question becomes, when are you going to begin to live authentically for you? Not living for someone else. Not allowing other people to live vicariously through you. But being able to live for yourself authentically and not conform to people's opinions of you, not to conform to people's idea of what you should be and what you shouldn't be. So many people that are grown adults that are yet living in fear and conforming instead of living authentically. They are conforming to others' opinions and beliefs out of fear. But let me tell you what. People are going to talk about you if you do good. People are going to talk about you if you do bad. People are going to talk about you if you do what they want you to do. People are going to talk about you if you don't do it. So free yourself from the opinions of other people. Free yourself from other people's limiting beliefs and ideas. Free yourself. Do that for yourself. Let that be the gift to yourself today. Give yourself this today. Freedom. Free yourself from the bondage, the mental slavery, those limiting beliefs that's been imposed on you, that you've been conforming to out of fear. Free yourself today and give yourself freedom to live authentically as yourself. Because true freedom, liberty, because truth brings freedom. And we're just not talking about the truth of what somebody said come out of a book, but truth that enlightens, truth that educates, truth that gives you power to be able to live authentically. Greetings, nephew. You're so funny. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Greetings, everybody. Tap the screen. Share the live, everybody. Come on, share the live. Share the live. Greetings, everybody. Share this live for us. Do us a favor. Tap the screen and share the live. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, tap the screen, share the live, everybody. We appreciate all that you do to help us push this message out. To help push this message out to people, to help people wake up. We've been sleeping for so long that we don't even want to wake up. We don't even want nobody telling us the truth because we want to stay in the matrix, believing the lie because it's comfortable. But we are breaking the cycle of willful ignorance today. And so the third step in breaking this cycle of willful ignorance and breaking free from it is reclaiming power through spiritual principles and practices. So through these teachings of spiritual principles and practice and universal law, it emphasizes the power of our thoughts and beliefs. By using affirmations like, I am free to think, feel, and live according to my highest truth. So affirm that after me. Say that with me. I am free. Come on, affirm it. I am free to think, feel, believe, and live according to my highest truth. Not somebody else's, but what's true for me. Whatever else that may be true for you, but it's not for me. I have to live according to what's true for me. Begin to visualize a life beyond conditioning, because we've all been conditioned and programmed. But begin the process of deprogramming and deconditioning yourself. And begin to imagine a life beyond conditioning. A life that's authentically yours, not somebody else's. And so that's the challenge for us. And I want you to imagine what true liberation would look like for you. When we free ourselves from limitations, we step into a life of power, purpose, and peace. When we move towards liberation as a community, our collective light grows stronger. So we got to do it together. Interconnected. Remember, the universal law and principle that we are all interconnected. We are all one human family. When we begin to acknowledge that and realize that and walk out that principle in our lives, we begin to see change. And so this is my invitation to you today, to examine where you may be clinging to beliefs that don't serve you and dare to release them. This is how we create a new reality for ourselves and begin to inspire others to do the same. To create a new reality. We're just not, the law of duality teaches us, and the law of polarity, which is universal principles, laws of the universe that govern the world, that's not tied to any religion, but it's universal laws. And the law of duality, the law of polarity, that there's an opposite to everything. There is an opposite to everything. There's good and there's evil. And people say, oh, we fighting evil. Honey, good and evil is always going to exist because they are opposites. The law of duality, polarity. But we have to move out of just dealing with the good and the evil and begin to move upwards. Because it's like a pyramid. A pyramid. We have good, evil, but then we have to move up to perfect. That's above the good and evil. You begin to move into perfection. At the pinnacle. Moving above the limitation. Because we have duality within each of us. That's what, let's use for example, the book of Ecclesiastes. Now, anybody who's new to our platform know that we use the Bible to help decode. We decode the Bible, teaching metaphysical and esoteric knowledge and truth, decoding the Bible, cracking the code, seeing what it truly means, garnering the spiritual truths that are there. And we use the Bible because that's one book that's almost at everybody's house, especially those of African American, people of African descent. It may be collecting dust, but we got it, honey. So we take this book that's about us, written by our ancestors, to teach us spiritual truths, to help us begin to expand our consciousness, to expand our awareness. That's what it's about, leaving the shallow waters, being willing to launch out into the deep, and really begin to learn things. Learn about yourself. A lot of times we don't even know ourselves. We don't even know what we like. We don't know what we don't like. We haven't taken the time to know ourselves. And that's why the phrase that was in the ancient African temples, the phrase that was put upon the door, man, know thyself. That's the first thing we have to do when we begin to wake up. We need to begin to know, who are we? What am I? Who am I? We are being told by all people everywhere what we are and what we aren't. But ask your question. Ask yourself the question, who I am? Who am I? What am I? So man, know thyself. And to thine own self be true. So the book of Ecclesiastes talks about the law of polarity, the law of duality. In the 3rd chapter, in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, It says, to everything there is a time and a season. To everything there's a season and a time, to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up what's planted, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up. This is the law of duality, the law of polarity. There's a time for everything. And so we have to understand what time we're living in now, in this information age. It's no reason for us to still be ignorant. And today, the day we live in, it's no need for us to remain ignorant when knowledge is accessible. But we have to be willing to do the work, to shed off the ignorance. You have to get fed up with being controlled. Everybody telling you how to feel. Everybody telling you what to think. We've gone to places that should be teaching truth, where truth should be found, but we cannot find it there. So it is our own job to educate ourselves, because many times we have been miseducated. We have been taught to believe in fables. We've been taught to believe that we are not good enough, that we are not worthy, that we're just sinners in need of a Savior. We've been taught that we don't have divine nature within us. Taught that you were born in sin and shaped in iniquity. But not taught that you was created in the image of the divine. So you have the divine nature. You have your creator's nature within you. So which makes you a co-creator with the divine. That you have power within you that you have to unlock by shedding off the ignorance, by educating yourself, by beginning to learn who you are, where you come from, what purpose you have in life. You begin to shed those negative beliefs. You begin to shed all of the things, all of the beliefs that have been imposed upon you. And then you begin to walk in enlightenment. And stop being afraid of walking away from the matrix. Stop being afraid to become elevated. A lot of people will want to keep you in the dark. They don't want you to educate yourself, because you will no longer be able to be controlled. Once you begin to educate yourself for real, pick up a book, begin to read. Because a lot of people, they have this book called the Bible in their hand that they thump it around. But they were given the Bible, but they weren't given the keys to unlock the code. They wasn't given the keys to unlock the code. Because the Bible is a coded book. We talk about that a lot on this platform. And we teach how to decode the book. Because this book was written by Kabbalistic writers. And spiritual truths are mixed in, woven in, and you have to decode it in order to get what it's really talking about. And that's the power. Begin reading. Begin studying. A lot of people quote, was it that 2 Timothy? I think it's 2:15. It says, study to show thyself approved. Yeah, but it's in their book, the study. But do you do the study? Studying is not just reading. Yes, that's 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved. Unto God. And we know what God means. We broke that down the other day. Esoterically, metaphysically, what God means is not a name of a deity in the sky. God is you. G, generator, your mind. O, operator, your soul. D, destroyer, it's in your kundalini, your sacral of your vertebrae, your energy centers. And when you begin to reach that Godhood, studying to show yourself approved unto God, yourself, a workman that need not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Once you have knowledge, you have nothing to be ashamed of. And you have the right application of knowledge, it creates confidence. Because you're no longer controlled. Nobody can come in and just hoodwink you, confuse you, gaslight you. Why? Because you put in the work and you know for yourself what you know. You may not know everything, but what you do know, you need to know. You need to know that you know that you know that you know what you know. And this is what it's about. Becoming perfect. That's what Yeshua said. Be therefore perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. So why would a ascended master, a spiritual teacher, teach you to be perfect if it wasn't already in your nature? Think about it. Why would it say, be thou therefore perfect, even as your Father in heaven? If you were not a divine being and you did not have the propensity to be perfect, to go on in perfection, that's the thing. You have to learn how to be perfect. It's talking about awakening the Christ within you, awakening to your own divine potential, moving into Godhood. Because the Bible is not, it is about Godhood. Not Jesushood, Godhood. Christianity is about Jesus. The Bible is about Godhood. Moving you into knowing who you are, that you were created in the divine's image, and it's having the divine's nature. Created to be lords of the earth. That's what the Bible says. To be lords of the earth. But no, your preacher not going to tell you that. No, he's not going to tell you that, because, if he tell you that, then you're waking up. You're no longer a sheep. And so platforms like this and others that are trying to wake you up is trying to get you out of the category of a sheep that's moving, going to the slaughter, being killed, metaphorically speaking, because of your ignorance. Greetings, Apostle Beverly. Welcome, greetings. Glad to have you join us. Grand Rising. Greetings, everybody, as you come and tap the screen, like and share. Thank you. Share the live. But moving into perfection. A lot of preachers, they're not going to teach you that because they are benefiting from your ignorance. That's why when you go to a lot of churches, they don't, you go in the Bible, Holland don't have Bible study. And if they do have Bible study, they don't want you asking a lot of questions. Because they always hate when you ask a question, because guess what? When you begin to ask questions, you begin to dig into finding out the answer. And finding out that some of the things that you've been told doesn't line up. So that's what happens when you begin to dig and study for yourself. You begin to see the inaccuracies and the inconsistencies. Instead of you going to say, well, wait a minute, something's up here. Something I need to re-examine. And then, a lot of people, what we face when we begin to wake up and we begin to understand and we begin to help other people get out of the matrix and understand who they are, you have these religious folks that say, oh, they teaching that new age stuff, false doctrine, heresy. But it's nothing new under the sun. That also is in your Bible. There's nothing new under the sun. We just have to be willing to do the work. We just have to be willing to put in the effort to learn. Now, when I was thinking about, the Spirit gave me this passage to read, Ephesians 5:14. And this is what we're doing, helping you to get out of mental slavery, helping you to get out of the matrix. And Ephesians 5:14 says, wherefore he said, awake thou that sleepeth, and arise from the dead, and Christ shall give thee light. Awake thou that sleepest. Many of us have been asleep. We've been lulled to sleep by religion, by politicians, by influencers. We've been lulled to sleep. We've been lulled to sleep into ignorance. And so what we are teaching on this platform and those that are like it, hey, it's time to wake up. It's time to wake up, smell the coffee, smell the roses, smell the truth. See what time we're living in? It's time for action. Not just time for getting on your knees and praying to somewhere in the sky somewhere when God is within you. Divinity is within you, not somewhere in the sky. That's what Yeshua taught. That people claim to believe so much. So the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God is within you. And so we have to learn how to harness that kingdom, that divinity that's within us. How to come to the place where we can begin to do those things that we need to do to bring about a correction in the earth, to bring about balance in the earth. But we can't bring about balance in the earth when we are not balanced, when we have not come to the place of our own elevation. So that's metaphysically and esoterically, that's what this verse means, Ephesians 5:14. Awake thou that sleepest. Come out of your ignorance. Stop being controlled by the media, being controlled by politicians, being controlled by these people that call themselves preachers and preaching the gospel. Their preaching is colonialism. They are preaching indoctrination. And so awake from that slumber. And Christ consciousness, the God within, the divine within you will give you light, will illuminate you, will bring you into enlightenment. So no longer sheep that's asleep, but wake up. Wake up to who you are. You are not just a mere mortal and a helpless being. You are a powerful divine being. And you have been created to be a co-creator with the Creator, to rule the earth. But we can't do that if we don't have the three missing keys: self-identity, self-knowledge, and self-revelation. And when we're missing these three keys, we cannot operate at our highest and fullest potential. So we have to reorientate ourselves with truth, reorientating ourselves with knowledge that's been stripped and taken from us And we've been lied to. Because of the records of our past, not history, because history, when you break that up, is his story. We don't want to be dealing with history, his story. We want to be dealing with the records of our past. What our ancestors did, what they've left on record for us. Who we are, where we come from. And this is why a lot of people have not progressed. Because they haven't been given a source of pride in who they are. And their legacy, where they come from. Because many people are just taught, oh, you ain't nobody. Or you come from the ghetto. Or your mom and daddy wasn't nobody, so you ain't gonna be nothing. So many of our children, their hopes and dreams have been crushed. Many times by people that's been bitter and they have limiting beliefs. And so we have to help resurrect self-belief. That's what people should be doing. Religious leaders, spiritual leaders, anybody, influencers, helping people to understand self-belief, who they are, getting in touch with their divinity, not teaching people to pray to sky daddies, but to look within, because everything you need and everything you seek is already within you. You've been built with it. You already got all the God in you that you're going to have and you're going to get. There ain't no more to get. So we have to understand that. Greetings, Nicole. Thank you. My companion picked this hat for me to wear today because I was going to wear something else, but they said, no, wear this one. So thank you. Thank you so much. I need to expand my hat collection. I have quite a few, but I need to expand it. Greetings, everybody. As you come in, tap the screen, share the live, everybody. But yes, stop being controlled. Fear-mongering, that's what people use to control the masses, to cause people to fear. And then when they spread fear, then they act like they have a solution, so as if they're a savior. So you begin to depend on them. But come out of the matrix. Don't buy into the fear tactics. Don't buy into the fear mongering. You are divinely protected. You are divinely guided. That's right, gaslighting. They love to do it. Just think about this. Let's just think for a moment. On this platform, we're not concerned about what religion. We're not concerned about what practice you practice. That's fine. We're not here to convert or deconvert anybody. We're here to open people's eyes of who they are. Those that are wanting to come out of the matrix, that want to be enlightened, that want to come into enlightenment, that want to come into their own power, that they've been created. That's what we're about. But see, this is the thing. With coming out of the matrix, think about this. All of these religious institutions, these churches, places of worship, mosques, synagogues, churches, especially the Christian Orthodox Church, Christian Orthodoxy, that present you and package their beliefs to you and say that you are a sinner, and without this salvation that we have to give you, you are damned to hell, and you are no good, and until you take this salvation, this cure we got, you're hopeless. And so people buy into that. And they buy into it. And they become indoctrinated and dependent upon an institution. But here we are telling you that you were not born a sinner. You are not a sinner. See, hearing that type of stuff indoctrinating you messes with your psyche. It messes with your self-esteem. It messes with your self-identity. It messes with your thought process, your mind. It tampers with your mind because it causes you not to feel empowered. And any religion or spiritual practice that does not make you feel empowered, you need to drop it and run like fire. Because anything you're involved in, anything that you're participating in, anything that you're practicing should bring empowerment to you, should bring upliftment to you, should bring you encouragement in truth. Not in dogma and doctrine and indoctrination. And so it's a price to pay for waking up. You may lose some friends. You may lose some family members, may not want to talk to you anymore and deal with you. But that's okay. Living in your authenticity, living according to your inner light and freedom and your purpose is more important than anything else. Elevating your consciousness, not being controlled anymore, and your freedom is more important than being buddy-buddy or just going along, being guided as a sheep to the slaughter. It's okay to be the quote-unquote black sheep. Because those who they call the quote-unquote black sheep are the ones that just won't be controlled. They are the ones that just won't go along to get along. They're the ones that is really a divine being and enlightened. And they have been called to help lead people out of the darkness, out of the lies, out of the deception, out of the miseducation. So don't be afraid when people call you a black sheep of the family. It's okay. Because guess what? As you continue to wake up, other people will be drawn to you. People will be drawn to you to learn from you. Why? Because they can see that light in you. They can see there's something different in you than that's in some of all of these religious folks. They can see a light in you. That it ain't about religion. It's about what's in you. How you've expanded your consciousness. You've expanded your self-awareness because you begin to have a revelation for yourself. And this is what Yeshua, the master teacher Yeshua, come to call Jesus, was all about. Helping people have a self-revelation of themselves. Because Yeshua knew who the divine and the creator was in relationship to him and who he was in relationship to the creator. This is why he said, I and my Father are one. He understood the interconnectedness of all things. That we are a thought in the mind of the universe. We are a thought in the mind of the divine mind. And we are connected. If we would understand that we are all human family, one human family, it would cause us to be at peace with people. Not to cause division. Love brings peace. Love brings understanding. Love brings truth. Love brings unity. But a lot of times, it is not love that is pushed, but it's fear. It is not love that is pushed, it's miseducation. It's not love that is pushed. What is pushed is indoctrination. Love is not pushed, but division is pushed. Divide us by gender. Divide us by race. Divide us by religion. Divide us by political issues. And we become a divided people. Especially people of color. Instead of banding together, we allow ourselves to be divided. And when there is no unity and there's division, you cannot make it. That's exactly what the esoteric and metaphysical meaning of the scripture that says, a house divided against itself cannot stand. So when you split in two within you, it's not just externally, inwardly. When you're split in two inwardly, and you are not in harmony and alignment with yourself, it causes a disunity. And that's when you break the word disease down, it's dis-ease. Dis-ease. And when we're not in alignment with ourselves, when we're not in alignment with our own divinity, and we're not in alignment with the universe, with creation, with nature, we create disease. Dis-ease in the body, dis-ease in the mind, dis-ease in the spirit. Dis-ease in our soul. And so breaking free from the matrix helps us to be at one-knit with the divine within and with all humanity. And there's another verse of scripture that I wanted to leave with you on today, that I wanted to decode together with you. It's Romans 13 and 11. And I wanted us to look at that verse of scripture, Romans 13 and 11, which says, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now our salvation nearer. For now is our salvation nearer than when we first believed. And when we decode this verse of scripture, when we break it down and we understand it metaphysically and esoterically, that we have to understand the time we're in, the signs and the seasons and the times we're in. That it's time to wake up out of sleep. It's time to wake up out of being deceived. It's time to wake up out of being misled. It's time to wake up from the deception. It's time to wake up from being willfully ignorant, from ignoring the truth, from evading facing the truth. It's time to wake up from that. Because now is the time for our salvation. What is salvation? Our time to awaken the Christ within. It's time to empower yourself. It's time to gather yourself together so that you can help heal the world. But you can't heal the world when you're not right. When you're not right within. When you're not in alignment. So I encourage you today to break free from willful ignorance and into the path of enlightenment. And as we prepare to close our time together today, I invite you to join me in this affirmation. I am the master of my mind. Say that with me. I am the master of my mind. Free from limitations and fears. And remember, The journey from ignorance to enlightenment is a continuous path. It's not always easy, but it's worth it. And I encourage you today, commit to a life of truth, consciousness, and empowerment. And begin to watch how your life begin to change. Everything in your life will begin to change for the better. This has been the Soul Awakening Sanctuary and Divine Discussions with our Sunday's Sacred Circle with your host, Chief Apostle Veronica Yisrael, the High Priestess and spiritual leader of the Soul Awakening Sanctuary and host of Divine Discussions, where we aim to foster healing, love, light, and wholeness by teaching universal laws and principles of truth, not tied to any specific religion, doctrine, or dogma. And those that would like to give to our platform to support us and help us to continue to spread this knowledge of truth, light, and enlightenment, you can send your love gifts through Cash App. It is $ capital VSY lowercase ISRAEL 2021. We appreciate all that you do, all of the hearts, the likes, the shares, everything you do to support this platform. We thank you. And always remember to like the content. If you're new here, follow, give us a follow, like the content, because we want to push this teachings out. Each video, each post, comment on it and help us to push it out and to help the algorithms, because we want people to be awakened. We are here to help people exit the matrix, help people to decolonize and deconstruct and move out of mental slavery into freedom and be empowered, to give them spiritual principles and tools to be able to work with to create a life of freedom and empowerment for each and every one. And so again, we love each and every one of you, and continue to stay tuned for this coming week for our different lives and videos that we will be pushing out as we continue to teach ancient wisdom. Nothing new age about what we teach. We teach ancient wisdom and recovering our past and reorientating ourselves into the truth, into the ancient mysteries of things that we need to know about ourselves in order so that we can move into our future and heal humanity. Until next time, peace be with you. Love you all.